Hello everyone, I'm Rabbi Chaitovsky. Welcome to another video dvar from my office at BMH-BJ in Denver, Colorado. This Shabbat we read the Torah portion of Emor. And Emor contains in it a number of wide-ranging mitzvot and suggestions for living a good life. And some of them apply to the Kohen, and some of those laws seem a little arcane to us, but others apply to the way we live our daily lives, including the run of the calendar, which we find in chapter 23 of the Torah portion. And of course we know that we are now in the period of the Omer, counting the Omer. And I just want to share one or two thoughts about the Omer, because the Omer is an interesting example of how Jewish law sort of expands to accommodate different realities. The original intent of the Omer was for a community of farmers, which our ancestors were, believe it or not, to just watch and monitor the maturation of their wheat crop. We count a 50-day cycle when we bring an Omer offering, and then we watch and we count every day and waiting anxiously for that wheat crop to mature. And on the 50th day, the Torah says we're going to take that wheat and we're going to bake it into the shtei halechem, 2 loaves of bread that we're going to wave, that the Kohen actually is going to wave as part of a special ceremony. So for the farmers, the Omer has great significance. They're counting the days to their wheat crop matures. We also know, although the Torah doesn't expressly link these two, we also know that the counting of the Omer attaches Passover to another great event in our history, that of the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. The 10 Commandments were given. God revealed God's self at Mount Sinai on the 50th day of the Omer counting. Actually, it's the day after the last day counted of the Omer, which is 49. On that 50th day, the revelation took place. The Torah never told us that that was going to happen, but that is what happened. So now the Omer has become our counting down, or more precisely, our counting up to receive Torah. If we're counting up to receive Torah, and we're journeying through what might be termed 49 levels on a ladder leading up to the summit of Mount Sinai to receive the Torah personally, it means that we're going through a spiritual growth process. And in order to have spiritual growth, we need to have a little bit of spiritual and soul self-examination. A little bit of exploration, a little bit of looking in the mirror, something we do at other times of the year, but we do it now as well. How do we know we have to do that? Because Rabbi Akiva's students who themselves were Torah scholars, studying with the greatest Torah scholar of their day, the Gemara tells us passed away during this time because lo nahagu kavod zeh bazeh. They didn't treat each other well. Now I have to be honest, I have no clue as to what that means. I cannot imagine what these great Torah scholars could have done to one another, that they would have been remembered as not treating each other well. But maybe it was that in their zeal to achieve clarity of understanding of Torah, maybe they spoke harshly, maybe to get their point across, they abused language. I don't know. I know we're in a political season, and I know that candidates are making promises after promises. And we are a little jaded about all of that. Sometimes we refer to those promises as hollow promises. No, the fact is we have an example of a hollow promise or hollow words in the Torah portion itself, in the story of the blasphemer. The blasphemer, it says in the Torah, Vayikov ben ha'isha et Hashem. The blasphemer pronounced God's name inappropriately. But the word used for pronounce is vayikov, and it comes from the Hebrew word nakav, which means to hollow out. means a hole, to make a hole, to bore a hole into something, to create a space, an empty space. You've hollowed it out. And the blasphemer has abused the name of God, has hollowed out the name of God, and has undermined the impact of the name of God by misusing it. This attention to language in the Torah portion, and this attention to language perhaps as the legacy of Rabbi Akiva's students who are remembered by us as mistreating their fellow students and even dying because of that, dying in a plague because of that, should be very instructive to us. In this political season, when language is so abused and language is so callously thrown about and casually mangled and manipulated, perhaps we should pay more attention to the way that we speak. Rather than engaging in cheap talk and hollow rhetoric, we should put meaning behind everything we say. We should say what we mean, but more importantly, we should mean what we say. Have a wonderful Shabbat.